Hey guys, welcome back to Rip Your Record, and today we're going to be doing a review of the new Logic album, Young Sinatra 4. Logic is an artist who has dipped up and down between being one of my favorite rappers and being one of the most annoying people on the planet. I love the guy, I really do. He's the only person I've ever seen live, and it was a great concert. I went to the Bobby Tarantino versus Everybody tour here in Cincinnati. And it was a great concert. Logic's a great performer. He sounds great. The man can rap. That's something that I don't think anybody can deny about Logic. Coming out with mixtape after mixtape before releasing his commercial debut album, Under Pressure. Under Pressure was something I hadn't listened to until much later into Logic's discography, because I started off with Everybody. I think the song that first got my attention was one of his most popular songs, 1-800, which was the big suicide prevention or awareness raising song, which is, it's not a bad song. It just definitely feels like he's going for a more radio friendly commercial album with Everybody. And I don't know. I debate about it because I do like Everybody, but at the same time, some of the things he says on it really bother me. Just like how often he brings up, and it's the big joke around Logic is how often he brings up that fact that he's biracial. I mean, he has a song on the album. It's a 12-minute closer called Afric-Aryan. And, I mean, it's whatever. You take Logic at face value, I feel like, at this point. When Logic announced that he was releasing this Young Sinatra 4 album, I was kind of excited. I thought, hey, he's getting back to his roots. That's what he tried to do on Bobby Tarantino 2. I feel like in a way he did, but in a way he pushed himself in the wrong direction, making more just banger after banger, which sure they're fun and they were fun to see in concert, but I haven't listened to Bobby Tarantino 2 in a long time. But with this Young Sinatra 4 album, I was really hoping to get a solid cut from Logic. I hope it would be something that I would listen to for some time to come, that would hold us over until Ultra 85 got here. Now, here's the deal. Let's start off with the first track on this album, Thank You, featuring Lucy Rose and the Rat Pack. So Logic tweeted out a few days before the album was released that he wanted the Rat Pack, his fan base, to be on the album with him. So he gave his number out and you were able to call him and leave a message. Of course I fucking did, because I'm a loser like that. But this song, I appreciate what he's trying to do. And yeah, I'm glad that, an artist as big as Logic is sitting back and saying thank you to his fans. But the song itself is just okay. It's nothing special. The next two songs, Everybody Dies and The Return, I've covered on various track reviews, both of which were above decent, I guess. The Return especially, I do like. But Logic then goes on to repeat sort of the same formula with multiple songs on this album. All of the songs that were just Logic, besides a couple that I'll get to later, were just okay rapping. And, there was nothing much to the message, and they were just okay. Decent instrumentals in the background. He definitely takes a lot from some boom bap inspirations, back from his youth, back from his earlier mixtapes. But at the same time, it just feels a little cheesy at this point, and I'm not sure how I feel about it. Some of my highlight tracks on this, the song with the Wu-Tang Clan, this Wu-Tang Forever, was kind of cool. I mean, he did boast about getting the entire Wu-Tang on one song, but he did, and it worked out well, I think. It's not something that really struck me as some great track, but I did enjoy it. It was a fun thing to listen to the first time around. Same with most of this album. One of my favorite tracks off of this is 100 Miles and Running featuring Wale. It's just good rapping over a good beat. There's not a whole lot to it. It does kind of bother me that Logic feels like he's at this point in his career where he just has to talk again and again about how he oh, look where I am, I made it. But then he looks back and he's like, you guys wanted the old me, but I'm still here. And in a way that's true, and he does show that on this track. But in a way, yeah, I feel like we're never gonna get the Logic that we used to have. Maybe that's a good thing, maybe that's a bad thing. I personally like to see artists challenge themselves and push themselves forward. I just wish that Logic would break through and do something unique. Because I feel like at this point, he's just repeating the same formula over and over again. Um, my favorite song is this song Legacy, which actually tells an interesting story about a man who ends up with a family and he does whatever he can to provide for them. He works hard every day, but he doesn't go to events in their lives, like he misses weddings and births and all this just to work and provide money for the family. And when he's laying on his deathbed, his family relates to him and says, like, I don't care if we're broke, if that means that you would get to spend time with us. And it's kind of a good lesson. I've listened to it with a couple of my friends, and they both agree it's an intriguing song. It's something that I haven't really heard a lot of in the rap scene. But yeah, that's probably my favorite song on this. Um, okay, there's a song called Street Dreams 2, and I'm not sure how I feel about it. Because, on one hand, it's a cool song. It's a interesting little story that I guess was a dream that Logic was supposedly had of him and Six going out and trying to rescue his wife, who is not his wife anymore. But um, and Six gets shot, and Logic kills a bunch of people, but then he kills himself. It's really confusing, and I really don't know how I feel about it. There's a song with Jaden Smith on it called Iconic, and Jaden Smith's feature, he literally just comes in and says, like, yeah, icons inspire icons. And then he leaves, and that's the Jaden Smith feature. It's not even rapping. On the last song, Last Call, Logic, he starts off saying, like, oh, all of my favorite artists have always done, like, a last call on these records. And, I wanted to do one of my own. And it's just way too long for to be even slightly interested in it. I don't think I ever finished the song because it gets so boring. He's just going through and like thanking people and saying all these things, but none of them stick. None of them are clever or interesting. And I feel like it was like a really horrible way to end off a mediocre album. So I guess where we're at, how do I feel about this overall as an album? I feel like Logic doesn't really know where he is at this point or where he should be at this point. And I don't know either. I wish that Logic would take some time, collaborate with some great artists, talent, because he's a talented man. I wish he would sit down and take the time to make an album that really feels complete and really feels like he put his heart and soul into it. And I'm not trying to say that he didn't try, because he did try. He always tries. And you can tell that he really loves his fans and he loves making music. And he loves where he is. But at the same time, I just don't know if what he's doing now is going to work out for him. I know his album got overshadowed by the Carter 5 coming out, Lil Wayne's album. And it like paled in comparison to the sales of that album. And I'm worried that if Logic keeps going down this road of making just okay music, that he's never really going to get back up from this low point that he's in. This isn't his worst project, but it's definitely not his best. I'm feeling a light to decent 5 on this one. That's going to do it all for this week, guys. I can't decide if I'm going to review either the Carter 5 by Lil Wayne or Trench by 21 Pilots next, both of which are interesting albums that I want to talk about. But yeah, I will see you next time. Peace.